Little bit of a longer break, but we're back here with the EGFC 2022 Power Series. It's our second quarterfinal of the night and our final quarterfinal of the night. At that, it's Washington State University taking on the University of Delaware Blue Hens. I'm time to light that right there would be Zohan. And Zohan, we're a little delayed considering the fact that this was pushed back 30 minutes due to scheduling conflicts and the fact that map bans took a little bit longer than we would like. But how do you feel about these two squads? We've seen them before between different prelims. We've seen them both perform extremely well and fall in the same time.
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, I casted Delaware earlier in the preliminaries, and the fact that they're the number 2 seed still kind of surprises me. I mean, WSU did pretty well before, like, so the fact that I'm really expecting this to be a lot closer than it is today. Like, I don't really think that these seeds exactly show how well these teams can do in this game, and especially Haven is our first map of the day, which honestly, if Washington State wants to have a little fun, I'm thinking Haven can go their way.
Haven's a map that's much different than many others between this game or really any other game. It's the only map in the game with 3 sites that makes B very precarious in terms of both defending and attacking. You never know if you're going to get sandwiched on either side of things. I do like this attacking side on Haven, though. I usually favor it 8-4 or 9-3 if the teams are relatively even. But in this game, I don't really know who to favor or how to favor them. I like to see Delaware perform a little bit better than we've seen from them in the past. While Washington State coming into this are the lower seed, I think they have the advantage on Haven specifically. Now, Delaware, as you said, coming into this are the 2nd seed. If you want to see the 3rd seed played, it's 3rd versus 6th over on the B stream, twitch.tv/official EGF2. It's Butler University versus Marist College. Go check that out as well.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I mean, Haven is obviously attacker favored. There's 3 sites to take. You know, only when I got into Valorant, I was expecting more maps to have a C site, and the fact that it didn't really confuse me, because especially, you know, Dan, you and I have casted CS:GO together, and so, you know, going from CS:GO where I'm like, it's always A and B, and then I came to Valorant and I'm like, there's a C site, and I just lost my mind. But you know, yeah, it really depends, because, you know, Delaware's attacking first. It really depends on how well that attack goes, because if it's 7-5, that's basically an even game at that point. If it's a little more, who knows what's going to happen. But then if it's on that reversal, if WSU defend well, if they accomplish their goal, make it, you know, 7-5 in favor of that defense, or even more, like, you never know. Even 9-3 on, if you get a 9-3 on defense, I'm not really seeing you lose that game. I think on Haven, you have to be on the attacking side for that curse to really happen. But it could also, that can change based on, you know, the agents that they pick. A more duelist favorite composition, especially as we're going to this agent select, excuse me, not map select. We already spent 10 minutes doing that. It really kind of really depends. You know, if there's more duelists, if we see that raise, if we see that neon, potentially something. I mean, I did say neon, so hey, both neon picks.
I'm not surprised that we're seeing neon picks, to be completely honest with you. Neon's a good agent to use because you have that speed to both rotate and retake, alongside the fact that that wall helps a massive amount. Now, I've been talking about how this map can favor the attackers. If you're on the attacking side and you get 8 or more rounds, I think you're in a good position. If you're on the defensive side, you get 5 or more rounds, I think you're in an even better position, considering the fact that you then go onto the attacking side, which historically is favored. I'm not going to tell you who's going to play what on either side, because in the previous map, we saw 3 initiators, we saw double duelist and double control on the opposing side. You never really know. I would expect to see said neon and probably double initiator, considering the map, but double controller is not out of the question. I'm looking at Astra for Re, and I'm looking at Safadi bringing through that breach. Keep an eye on them throughout the entirety of this matchup, but a Sentinel being brought out on both sides, seemingly. Yes, Havster brings through that chamber, while if he's hovering, I would say hovering the Cypher, but I don't know if that's going to be locked in as time expires. No, it's switched to the chamber. We got baited. Feels bad, man.
I want to say that I like Delaware's composition if Washington State University had that Killjoy, because I think Safety on that breach, you know, really shuts down a lot of what KJ brings to any composition, especially in Haven. The fact that they don't have that anymore, is breach useful? Yeah, but it's not split It's not Fracture. Like, it's not a map where it's so enclosed that you have to have, you know, you just have to pick Breach. And so now Breach kind of does it. You know, if you flash roll, maybe. Like, it kind of... I like KO and Sova more, is what I'm saying here. I like that way more.
I particularly like the Breach. It allows you for a lot of retake utility. You have the Aftershock for sectioning power. You have the Fault Line and the Rolling Thunder in terms of stunning and movement denial. That's a massive bit for both taking a site and retaking a site on either side. It's perfectly viable on both sides of the map, which you cannot say for everybody. Cypher is outstanding on the defensive side, yet on the attack is almost never used to the fullest extent possible because, again, it's Cypher. Now, Cypher isn't being played here. We may see that at a later map. But Haven, to start things off, we'll see one Sentinel on both sides, and on both sides, it's that Chamber. There's that Fault Line, though, already thrown through and already taken out.
Yeah, gonna be taken out early just to, you know, try to force the team back, but that allows them, especially with Astra, having across the map utility. You know, that is actually the one thing to really notice is WSU have that Astra cross map potential. Omen kind of has to be, you know, pretty close by, so that may play into it. Like,
oh, Demetrius, though, apparently not caring about your statistics there, Mr. Zohan. Azri will get a refrag as well. Washington State keep their man advantage, but the spike will go down on the C side and towards the default position. That Neon with the quick step around, using that high kick, trying to get as much as they can around that side, but Relay, there they are. Looking for more, though. That's the issue you're going to run into. You have to find more, especially being the lone roamer on this side. In goes that sonar. It finds information onto both players. A swing from Loathmane does not find the shots. Looking for another. This is everything, but a body shot to Leak will bring them low. Not enough, though, as Delaware pick up the pistol, an important pistol, especially on the attacking side. The Blue Hens go up 1-0.
Yeah. No, and I like... You know, what I particularly like is I like how fast Delaware's rotation was there. You know, they try to go towards A, they see the Astra smoke early, and then they just rotate from it. I think a lot of the times people will go very slow, and you know, that's not necessarily how that works, especially on Haven, because if you rotate fast, you can get to C, as we just saw, very quickly. And also I liked the you know, the very fun little flanking from Relay there.
I like speed when there are flanks. We saw that in the previous map with DePaul. They would flank every other round, and in all fairness, we played like 16, so it's 8 out of 16. And on the defensive side, it's relatively easy to catch those timings. That's exactly what happened. Here for Delaware, they have to make sure they keep watch of their flanks with a little bit of a nerf to Chamber somewhat recently in 4.09, if I recall correctly. That single trip being put on the board is not a good position for them. No longer as much of a Sentinel, now really forced into that kind of duelist role, if I do say so myself. Again, people disagree with me.
No, I've noticed, especially on the site retake, they really seem to be...
No way.
Site take, excuse me. Classics are just better. It's fine. I've noticed that they always have someone on this flank. If we notice right now, it's Breach. Earlier, it was Relay on that Neon. But always someone to call out that a rotation is safe, because they instantly rotate. They instantly move towards another site when they lose 2. But the player advantage still in the favor of WSU. So they have to be careful taking left. A, because if someone is there already, they may be able to shut down.
Guiding Light thrown in, that will not find the flash through. Dinsky just waiting here, can peek around to deny that spike plant. Will it happen? No, just a headshot, not the kill. The classic diff is there. The Sheriff is as well. Safety finding that frag required. Looking for more, though. Iffy will be removed. Is there a wary? Are they wary of this second flanker, though? The answer seems to be no. Catching a timing is Loathmane, finding the first, needs to find the second. It's John in a 1 versus 1. Left alone with just a Sheriff. No overgrowth to help them specifically, but with 26 HP, it may not matter considering the fact they have the Spectre in hand. Maybe 1 bullet or 2 if you're required to close this one out. There's the swing, there's the headshot. That will be the round. Washington State purchased almost absolutely nothing on the defensive side, yet removed the most statistically likely round for a team to win, that being the conversion round after the pistol. A thrifty, to say the very least, as the Cougars start to bring things back.
Let's go Cougars. There's a campus of WSU down the street from me, so it's always very fun to see how well they're doing. Yeah, no, it's very fun. I always forget that, like, you know, in other states, It's the same, you know, it's different colleges. Here it's actually the same college, just a different campus. So I always get really confused on that. But no, now effectively WSU's kind of bonus round. They're still buying, which I mean, I guess it works. It's fine. But Delaware is going to be pretty broke here. So this should be WSU's round, but they have to, you know, obviously we just saw how convergence can work. So maybe a chance for Delaware still.
A better position for Delaware than it was for Washington State, I think, but as I say that, they all fall. They are facing up against rifles, so the economic damage would be a little bit more impactful, but being forced down to just sheriffs, frenzies, and a headhunter, not a great position for you to be in. Relay wasn't cleared. There's the swing. Re does die, but it's still a 1v4. Not a position you want to be in. If you relay, there's the swing. That should be the kill. It is indeed just a single rifle lost on the defensive side. A very good position for Washington State to be in as they now take the lead.
I just want to comment that, by the way, the only person who died had the Spectre. Like, granted, obviously it didn't matter at the end because Demetrius could have picked it up if they had the Spectre, but the only person who died had the weapon that they picked up after clutching the previous round. So not everyone's going to have a rifle. Everyone is going to be prepared with utility. It honestly, I'm really liking WSU's chances right here. You know, there's a lot of strong utility that they have. The perfect, not gonna get the kill there, but a nice setup there originally, and now they can rotate back and for the retake.
Strong paranoia forces them away, but not for long enough. Loafmane finding the opener is immediately traded back, though. The initiator dropping is not a position you want to be in if you are on the Washington State side, but your sentinel falling is not a good spot either. That's a missed dark cover up towards heaven, meaning Loafmane can peek as they please should they wide swing, and honestly, they should, considering the weapon in hand. Lauk throwing up, I believe, that second dark cover in towards the heaven position, leaving Loafmane completely susceptible to null command. Being thrown through alongside the Cosmic Divide. A lot of ground taken because of it on this Washington State side. Love, gravity well, forcing them into position, but they are taken down after only one kill. The single kill may not matter though, as Loafmane is left alone, and Delaware bring back a round of their own. A good initiation and good staying power for that attacking side, especially after the Cosmic Divide thrown in, means they find the round and they tie us right back up.
Yeah, no, nice round for them, and I think that might have been there might have been some miscommunication there, because we saw the Astra pull in. I think it was Leaf and then maybe one more, so they know that two are already on that box. So it's not that, you know, far of an assumption that one would go towards the side to overlook CT. And then they didn't check that, and so two instantly go down. The rest were looking at hell, and those duels didn't go in their favor. Which means you just lost your whole team because you didn't have one overlooking at CT. And there's obviously you could say that Loaf wasn't in the right spot because they were trying to check. They saw that, they had to get away. So kind of a misfortunate round for them. I think it could have gone a lot better, but I still like how they're playing. I actually like WSU's setup a lot, and Delaware going for these slower plays I think works really well for them because it allows them to kind of force WSU to be thinking, maybe use utility to try to bait something out, and then once they have that utility for a site retake, they then have more for the post plant.
Washington State on the defensive side can find an opening pick without it being immediately traded out. They're in an awesome position. But in the previous round, that's just not what happened. They also lost their initiator, so no retaking utility, at least not enough for the defensive side, means they really could not retake at all. A good Cosmic Divide was okay, but certainly not a position you want to be in. Good 0 point to suppress relay, no high kick for them to try and kick things into high gear. But we still have University of Delaware initiating through. A good swing from Demetrius, finding the information at a flash, but misses an entire magazine. Oh no, and that's the entire C site down. Relay popping the overdrive, setting themselves in the overgrowth from their teammate, healing them right back up. A lot of overkill on the attacking side and a late retake from the Washington State University Cougars. not something they want to be in. A 3 versus 5 man disadvantage, weapon disadvantage, and positional disadvantage. It's a compounding issues without many compounding solutions. The stun thrown through along with the walls, not something for Washington State to retake. They may try it regardless, but they have to find these opening kills, and they will as well. What is going on here? Here's that rolling thunder I was talking about earlier. It finds an opening kill, and they remove that rendezvous. It's down to Justinsky, who falls. Lelk finds the 3K, and Delaware find their third. Collapse was that C site, really, for both teams, but Delaware have the staying power and stay in that lead.
I mean, that just came down to the fact they had 5 and WSU had 3 for that retake. On it, I like WSU's aim. That was really nice. That was a fun retake. And this is what I like about the fact that they have KO and Sova. They have 2 intel gathering agents. Obviously, you know, the Sova is a bit better for intel gathering, but even if you lose KO, you have Sova. If you lose Sova, you have KO. If you lose both, that's going to be a bit of a bummer. But Breach is really only, you know, you're playing a bit blind unless you know where they are. And this is, oh, who's going to get the better of the draw? Oh?
Not Hepster, even with the weapon advantage, still dies, and down goes that trademark. Because of it, the swing from Iffy finds a frag as well. Washington State seemed to be much better in this game with the weapon disadvantage. The Blade Storm pop finds a kill as well. The re-aggression coming through from Loafmane. They dash into an updraft, trying to find a frag. The swing unsuccessful, now relegated to just a classic. Iffy relegated to the grave. Safadi, however, is detected. The swing looking for a frag. The right click lands, but onto the far player. It's down to John, a 1v3. Not gonna happen. Loafmane hits the headshot. Another thrifty round win by Washington State. 2 of their 3 rounds have been thrifties. The other left out was that almost flawless gun round for them up against the anti-eco. Washington State really looking strong when they don't have as strong of weapons.
No, I don't want to call it too early, but the fact that WSU already have 3 on the board, this is barely halfway through this half. If they can get 2 more, I mean, as you said earlier, 2 more, 5 is when on defense is when you really start thinking a defense is doing incredibly well. I'm not thinking that that's too far away. I think just a couple more wins and boom, I think they're in the lead here. And once again, WSU playing slow, playing a different site. And so maybe this will catch them out, but the rotation's already coming.
Oh my goodness. And I really want to talk about Washington State being able to find these opening cracks. Whenever they do, they seem to be winning rounds. Loafmane now finding their second. Loaf does bring it back, and apparently, opening kills don't mean a dang thing here, Zohan. Reed from the flank, though, does. Trying to find another onto Hofster, who has that tour de force out, but maybe looking the wrong way. A good swing, but that spike has been retrieved. That's the most important part about it. Delaware have their choice of sites, and the choice seems to be C. However, there's already a flank moving through C long. I have to say, I favor Delaware in this engagement as long as they find Dinsky. If Dinsky finds a timing, he may just win the round alone. There's a swing, but Hofster finds a timing, needs to find this kill. Dinsky, no, misses the spray, and Ree is now left alone.
Ree's left alone indeed. Jafster's looking at this. Oh, no, moves away, he's setting up the TP. Oh no, reveals their location, but gets the headshot off there. So this could happen though.
The rendezvous popped, but just a little too late. Ree has to push through the smoke. He does indeed, but doesn't clear the close corner. Ninja is Lelk as he swings, but you still have to clear that corner, Zohan. That's a must clear. Sometimes you do a formality clear where you physically clear it, but in your brain you already think it's clear, so you look away regardless of somebody being there. But Washington State, again, losing a round that they have a weapon even not advantaged or disadvantaged in, yet continue to win rounds where they're on the back foot. So you never know what may happen in some of these rounds.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was a bit interesting. I really want to comment on the fact that I think Leaf gave away the position a little too early. Loafmane dashing in? I think that might have been a miscue.
That was the wrong button.
They were definitely meaning to press S. I was a bit scared for a second. But no, I just, the fact that they gave away the position with that tour de force, that could have worked a lot better, I think, if they just waited for the smoke to dissipate or waited for them to push through the smoke at him. And I think that would have allowed them to maybe get another pick and force them to stay on to B. I think they maybe, WSU played a little too aggressively onto site.
One thing that Delaware has been doing is hurrying up just to wait. They push just to get outside of the A garage, and then they wait to do absolutely nothing off the back of it. Iffy is stunned out, but has their rendezvous to get the heck out of dodge. A good flash thrown through by Safety, but they have to find a frag, and they won't. Washington State understand this is not a good position for them and back away, but Dinsky has yet to do so and finds 2 frags because of it. The re-aggression could be there, but Washington State want to wait and play their man advantage. Understandably so. All 4 players are prepped and ready to go. Good flash. Out goes Iffy, trying to find a frag. A good flash to completely find Safety in towards hell, but Havster finds a frag. Rendezvous away and finds yet another, looking for a third, finds that as well. The spray through the smoke will not find another. He doesn't even have to. It's an ace for Havster. It's another round for the University of Delaware, and the Blue Hens continue to fly away with this attacking side.
I keep waiting for the puns, and they don't disappoint me there, Dan. That definitely, they did not get the headshot I think that they have gotten on Havster before. That definitely allowed Havster to just set up in such a great spot, and that was the perfect placement of the bomb, to make sure that they can TP away from site to watch long, and it worked great for them. And now I like Delaware playing a bit aggressively, but they're playing into a default.
Give me those back.
Apparently doesn't matter though. Washington State are playing aggressive. Loafmane finding that first with the Blaze-Storm has to turn around and is completely blind, will die because of it. Ree popping into that astral form just to walk in and die. The flank from Iffy is good, but only finds 1 frag. It's again a 1vx scenario for somebody on the Washington State side with a weapon disadvantage and a positional disadvantage. He has to now push the C side, and from C long no less, the timing does not look like it's going to go his way. Loak is going to catch yet another on a close position. Do they clear this close corner? This is an off angle being held by Lelk. It works out perfectly. You could see Iffy's crosshair went right by him. It just didn't register that the off angle could be there. And the University of Delaware now doubling up the Washington State University scoreline, looking extremely strong in the attack. 2 more rounds, and I think they're in an awesome position. If they find all 3 of the remaining 3 rounds, they're in an even better one.
No, definitely. I think the key, though, is that there's so many ultimates now for WSU. I'm primarily looking at that null sector. I'm also looking at, the Hunter's Fury, because that allows them for site takes. If they kind of rotate them, if maybe this site take is this round is null factor, null sector. If the next one is that Hunter's Fury, boom, great for them. And getting that early pick, that could definitely be the way to do it.
What's Safety doing? Is Safety just casually looking at a wall for no reason? Okay, now switches to the side. I was a little concerned as to their whatever the heck they were doing. Are they prepping a fault line to push through? No, it's the Rolling Thunder to push through. All of B is now gone. The Seekers popped as well. I don't know about that combination of ultimates, and a good gravity well means if he can just spray through and find 2, looking for a third is Ree. It will not happen. The doppelganger of Iffy finds a kill and immediately dies to him. He's looking for another ace. At least a Chamber's looking for another ace. Not gonna happen. It's only a 4K as the kill was there previously. Washington State picking up where the University of Delaware left off. Anything your Chamber can do, ours can do almost as good. No ace. So feels bad.
I mean, you can't deny. I mean, that looked close. I mean, I think that would have been an ace if there wasn't that early pickoff, but and that's exactly what I just said. The Hunter's Fury is gone now, but they still have the null sector. They still have the ability to shut down, the tour de force, from Havster. They have the ability to, just take sight. And so that's exactly what they need to do. And now they're having a lot of ultimates coming into our penultimate round.
Relay catches the timing with the worst weapon in the game. Will try and trade that out. I think he does, just barely. Grabs a new weapon, and the University of Delaware at that grab the entirety of the C site. Again, you're looking at Delaware with speedy takes and efficient ones at that, not giving away much, not using too much utility in order to do so. Loafmane trying to get aggressive, walks straight through that trademark, and now needs to find this kill, is not going to do so. Walks straight into the no-scoped Havster with that tour de force in hand. The Cosmic Divide, again, used by this defensive side in order to attempt a retake, but they're all pushing through the same position. The no command popped, it finds absolutely nothing. Re-peeking around, do they find anything with this? Iffy dies? does die. It took him a second to do so. Love with a Spectre has the disadvantageous weaponry, but still the advantageous positioning. The University of Delaware really taking what they need, a 7th round now on the attacking side, even with the weapon disadvantage, and a team ace to top it all off. Zohan, again, Delaware's looking good.
When did Demetrius pulp that null command? I was really confused on that.
Early, very early.
Yeah, okay, that's why I was a bit confused.
In that round, yeah. It ran out just before they swung, so you had the final ping go out, and then they died, so they weren't put in that weird position where you can re-stabilize the core or whatever.
Yeah, I was just deeply confused, and oh, a nice set play there actually, following up, you know, behind the Trailblazer. It allows them to repick, forces that TP out of there, and yeah. The one thing I will say is that Tour de Force, I think, is a very strong ultimate, even for a retake, because of that one-shot potential and the flank coming from Loaf main. It's still 5v5, so WSU playing the attacking round and is going to get the pick. Oh, it doesn't actually.
Wait, they don't give away Loaf main's positioning though. Loaf main can swing this for free. Finding a first kill, not gonna find it at all. Looking for a second, will take his own first of the round. Demetrius swinging into the close corner. Finally, Washington State clear their corners, and look at that, it gives them the round. I was talking about the defensive side finding 5 or more rounds, then it looks good for them. That's exactly what happens here for Washington State. This is about as even of a half as you would get, with the odds of each team winning still being relatively even. Washington State will now head onto the attacking side of their opponent's map pick with that 2-round disadvantage. But unlike other games, notably Rainbow Six Siege and Counter-Strike, the other tactical first-person shooters, the attacking side is regularly favored throughout many maps, so that can immediately flip over.
100%. And I actually, you know, I keep telling you this, I like Sova and KO more. And I like it because of the fact that you can have combos with Astra. You know, you can pull them in. You can, so in order to maybe throw a fragment grenade or throw a shock dart, or you know, just a couple of combinations that I don't think Delaware, you know, Delaware have a couple, you know, follow behind the Trailblazer, follow up with the aftershock, but they don't have the skill plays I think that WSU are capable of. And on, you know, post plans, that's exactly what I want to see.
Ooh, both chambers missing shots across. The headhunters are always probably the best weapon to use in pistol round. That's why I think chamber is one of the best agents in the game. For pistol rounds and eco rounds, you have that Tour de Force is a fully lethal ultimate you can use as an economic buy. And the headhunter's kind of nuts as well. Still favoring it. But sometimes chambers aren't worth everything. Bullets in the chamber, however, are. John trying to get aggressive with a few in his, iffy, unsuccessfully doing so around towards C long, and Washington State in tandem will choose the A side. That at least seems to be the call with 50 seconds left in the round. And Zohan, they're looking to go now. They have the breach towards CT to clear out, along with that sky towards long. Good guiding light, but it doesn't blind out anybody. And they have to go quickly on this attacking side. The fault line misses. Iffy finds that opening frag. That's exactly what we were looking for. Now it's a full retake setup for Delaware.
Yeah, no, I mean, it perfectly timed by WSU there. Obviously, it kind of had to be a bit lucky from their perspective, because Delaware, you know, could have hit that fault line, could have maybe got a flash off, and it would have worked. But now they have to use this paranoia. They have to invest a lot of utility here that, you know, might have just been a little nicer for a you know, a 5v3, not a 5v, like a 4v5, and they're just falling.
Everything falls apart there for Delaware. They throw in the dark cover, the paranoia. Unfortunately, the paranoia hits absolutely nothing other than thin air in the wall that was sitting right in front of him. And Washington State pick up an all-important pistol. Both teams winning their attacking pistol rounds, as usually you should. Washington State doing so, however, brings them back to just 1 round from even. And Delaware, considering they're on the defensive side, should not be purchasing into this, but we saw Washington State do the exact same thing on the defensive side by very little to absolutely nothing, yet win that conversion round nonetheless.
They definitely have, but you know, I think that was maybe a couple missed timings. And ooh, this is a nice set play though, but that TP was instant for them. And now, you know, now they kind of know, they know a couple of what utilities been lost now, what some players were using and where they are. Look at this immediate rotation towards A. They're not going to be able to get on site in time, but they have to, you know, I want WSU to just go. And they're gonna take it, and now it's gonna be a post plant. This is going to be a huge retake possibility for Delaware, but it's gonna be hard.
Full 5 versus 5 on the retake. Headhunter is still available on that defensive side, and you, I think, saw a super shorty thrown through. This is our scenes as they look to aggress. All coming through that CT position or dropping in through heaven. The fault line clearing out that close corner, but do they swing it? The answer is absolutely not. Loafmane finding 2. Demetrius 2 of his own. It's down to Habster. He is dropped by Loafmane. It's a full house of frags in the 5v5 retake. The retake is denied, and Washington State University tie us right back up. Again, it's like we never left Agent Select and relegated the first 14 rounds of play.
Yeah, it's the best of I forget how many rounds there are in this game now. Best of
10.
10? Yeah, best of 10. I can do math. It's fine.
Don't do
I'm watching the Champions League final tomorrow, so I'm expecting like a 2-0. So anything past like 4, I can't think of anymore.
Get out of my way.
But okay, this is a critical round for Delaware. They have to win this here. If they don't, then I think WSU could really start pushing through. They could lose 2 rounds after this and still be completely fine. Yeah, so this is going to be critical for them, and a nice default, I think, from WSU to start maybe might force Delaware to push a little too aggressively.
It's an odd sonar because it finds either absolutely nothing or very little. I'm not sure which one. It definitely found absolutely nothing, but the question now remains, did it land properly to find very little? Safety trying to prep that fault line as they look to push through. It misses. That's the most important part about it. Loafmane popping the tailwind straight through, but is flashed entirely. On top, they seem to know about Loafmane's general position, but Safety has to clear everything and will not. Dinsky finds the kill across. Loafmane retrieves that Phantom as well. Good positioning here for Washington State, but they immediately get way too aggressive. It is traded back 1 for 1, but it's still a 2 versus 2. Loafmane needs to get aggressive in and through, and is stunned out in the back corner towards Gong. Do they clear this? That's the real question. The answer, not at all. John, now in a 1 versus 2 left alone. Here's the updraft, has to clear out Loafmane. It does just that. Looking for the second, not gonna happen. Iffy with the Ghost comes out on top of that engagement. The target prioritization by John is awesome. Unfortunately, the second shot just not there, and Washington State win their bonus round and start to convert into this attacking half with 3 in a row to open things up.
And they stunned. Relay had the guess, had the backside guess, and didn't clear it. Let it expire, and then actually walked right into the sidelines of Loafmane. That just, a tragic mistake there, because that could have won them the round. If Loafmane was gone, that's a 2v1. They win it instantly. I don't see them losing that duel there. And just, a tragedy there. And also, to pull it back to something you said, I think that the Sova Dart, they meant to put a bounce on it. I don't think they put that bounce. And that's because I think that's a lineup that bounces into the middle of Garage. But they didn't do the bounce.
Make sure you right-click, kids. At least right-click twice instead of just either once or not at all. Spray from Dinsky removes that weird plating on the side of the wooden doors, but regardless is taken out. They're aware of Relay's positioning, but still have to clear this. The Bucky in hand is an awkward one to take away. Demetrius somehow staying alive, but is fault lined and stunned. Relay still wants to get aggressive, and there's been no sound cues whatsoever by this push. However, with the swing and the information given over, Dinsky just wants to get aggressive and find this kill. Will do just that. An outstanding opener and a team flash coming through, but regardless, A seems to be the call, and the audio cues given over. Loafmane pushing straight through, finds a free kill. They can go wherever they please in the attacking side. It's down to just 1. Safety in that 1v5, now turned 1v4. Has a sound cue into the second, but is domed straight through the wall. No living for you, says the Jet, as the breach falls, and Washington State extend their lead to 2, their largest lead of the game.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, definitely a timeout needed, because they lost the gun round in a bonus round, which, if I'm them right now, I would say check. If you're gonna stun backside, go check it. Why not just go check it? Like, there's no penalty to checking, because you still have 20 seconds left, even if you clear it. And then if you win that, you take them out, and boom, it's a 2v1. and that's an easy 2v1 situation, I think, to retake. And they just didn't do it. I don't know what else to say. Like I'm highlighting that round specifically because that really put WSU in the lead. I mean, that was their 8th round, and now, boom, they're in the lead. And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier. If you win 5 on defense, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be favored on the attacking round, and they're showing it as they hope to get to double digits.
I really have to say, there's no penalty. You were talking about it in terms of time. You still had high gear available for the Neons. There's, again, no penalty for just trying to clear that far corner. I'd suggest doing it, because, you know, why the heck not? Plus, you've already thrown the stun through. But notably enough, it leaves you in a 2 versus 1, or at least a easily tradable 1 versus 2, rather than a full 1v2 with very little info to work with. That was the main issue we saw on the Delaware side. But it's a round loss, they have to work with it. Now, the null command pop. Dimitri's looking to get aggressive, good suppression across, but is domed and is now down. They will not be able to stabilize that core as it's being covered, and 35 HP is all that remains on Loafmane, who is turning around and running the opposing way. However, there's a Neon between him and the C site. He seems to be aware of it, though, as Relay has repositioned in towards the mid doors. They've played a game of chicken around one another. Does the information from the trademark give away his position? No, it's just Relay peeking around. Now a 3 versus 5, a full retake being prepped here by the defensive side, and the University of Delaware have a 3-man advantage with still at least 25 seconds on that spike. The dark cover thrown in. It is still planted for this long position, but they have to clear it. Dinsky on that far side, looking to find the kill and more information past that with the sonar, but it's taken out. They have to throw in the shock dart. They do indeed. Does it land? No, and it will not matter. Lelk is thrown through and finds 2. A good fault line as well will allow him to do just that, as Delaware finally win a defensive round, and with 3.7 seconds left on that spike, defuse it through.
I mean, truly, if a couple,
right there,
maybe one person doesn't go down, and I think WSU get double digits there. That was a little too close for being a 5v4, I think. That actually really showed. I think that WSU is trying to go for those post plants. They're trying to go for, for set plays of, hey, we just shock dart. We can play back. We can play long, because it's up to Delaware to push it. And I think Safety being alive was basically the key factor there, because the aftershock, forced them away. Not aftershock, but you know what I mean. They forced them away, and now they don't. They're gonna have a lot of ults for retakes. But WSU may be able to come into it going, okay, this is what we do differently this time.
Changing things up at any point in a game is always a good thing. Now, whether you can convert off of changing things up is a massively different question. The dark cover thrown through by Lelk is trying to retake in towards Garage, but Havster's about to get caught. The timing is seen, is somehow still alive, and barely takes any damage whatsoever. Loafmane does not make it out of the sun and will fall. A good swing by Relay, while still suppressed, finds a frag. The trade is there, 1 for 1, back the other way, as Iffy pushes through, leaves everything back into the 3 versus 3. It's like just regular trades, back and forth. Iffy popping his own tour de force as Hofster has his out, but Lelk has caught the timing, looking to peek around, sees the gun barrel of that tour de force, but doesn't see the player and shoots the gun. That's not how you do damage in this game, my friend. The Rolling Thunder should find both if he has to back away while still stunned. They avoid the slow orb in that far side because the tour de force kill, but they still have to find the frags, and they just seemingly will not do so. Safadi looking to try and get aggressive. The aftershock thrown through will not find the kill, will find the information, but has to hop on that spike, and as he continues to get aggressive, he will get caught with the timing. Ree from the far side with just 10 HP will find the kill, and Washington State, as you said they probably could have in the previous, find double digits nonetheless.
They really needed to go a lot faster after that. After that Rolling Thunder, Safety popped it, and then they slow walked onto site, which, I get, obviously if they're playing long, you have to be a bit careful, but they could have cleared site a lot faster. They could have at least maybe even cleared garage there in time. They pushed so slow that, in Safety's mind, he's now looking, wait, maybe they could have gone through garage and rotated through CT. And so they pushed slowly. Once again, that set play coming from Relay, but it doesn't work out for them.
If you are Delaware here, you're on the defensive side, this is your own map pick. What do you want to change? Because we have that third-person perspective. We have the hindsight that they may not on the Washington State attack. What do you need to change? What do you see?
Deploying drone.
I really want their set plays to work because they've actually called out C perfectly twice, but they can't confirm a kill. And I don't know if that's due to the fact that they maybe slightly mistimed that flash, or maybe it's just the fact that Relay can't get there in time. But the fact that they're not getting those early picks, I shouldn't say wasting a flash, because it's, you're still getting information out of it. But now you don't have that flash for retake. You have to wait for more. You have to wait for Sky, or you have to use yours. There's just a lot. There's a lot going into it, and yeah, they're gonna get 3, maybe more. But it could have been earlier. It could have been faster in this round.
Speed being a massive factor leaves Ree without much speed to work with, considering the stun, with just 20 seconds to go, in a round where you have a massive man disadvantage. Notably, you're the only man left alive, and with 6 HP, and the spike in hand, and no real sight to your name. Tasmanian Tiger thrown in. This is not a position you want to be in, and it seems like it's just going to be an attacking sided save. Not at all a position you want to be in. 6 HP left over. It will stay left over unless they're taken away. Ree throwing down their final star, trying to gain aggression. Do they stay alive? The swing? They don't. Relay gets the kill just before time expires. And the University of Delaware starting to bring themselves back just a round from tying us up. I see 24 rounds in our future. I see all of regulation required here on this first map of play.
Okay, I'm looking at these ultimates. I'm gonna make a prediction here. I think WSU get it by planting, and then they're gonna have Dainsky and Ree set up some combo, with that Hunter's Fury, in order to make sure that they can rotate off site and be safe, from any people on site. And also, if Relay goes down, you have that player advantage, so maybe you don't even need to do your post plants.
Post plants overrated, plus L, plus R. That's all it comes down to. John trying to get aggressive in towards mid. Safety's actually going to pick up right where their teammate left off, though. Relay falling early. Dinsky follows, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, and Hapster has actually started to gain control. Walks straight into the trademark and has to make it out of the slow. They don't, and they die. Demetrius, good sound cue awareness, and good swing back the other way. Gives Washington State the advantage, at least for the time being. They do not have a sight to their name, nor much control past that man advantage. John gets caught out as Loaf main, dashes away, and just barely at that. Lelk finds the information, though, and that's a lot of information for this Delaware side to work with.
A lot of information, but are they going to be using it well? Actually, maybe not, actually, because they're most of the team from WSC is going towards C, and it's just Lelk on site. Left. A 2v4 retake is a lot scarier. With this Cosmic Divide, it's going to give their location, but they can clear a site in time.
Suppressed is Lauk. No Shrouded Step available to get the heck out of dodge. Safety trying to get aggressive, but Lauk has already fallen. They want to contain themselves on this defensive side. They do not want to be taken out from behind. That's exactly what's going to happen if he finds the first. He's not aware of the garage positioning. Apparently doesn't have to be a second swing, and a second headshot on the round gives Washington State just 2 rounds away from this match being over. Map 1, not a good position for Delaware to be in. They already are down 2 rounds. It's on the disadvantageous side, and they've won 2 rounds on said disadvantageous side since the second half started. Zohan, Washington State's an outstanding position.
Outstanding, and honestly, I think it comes down to the fact that they just understood what their win conditions were on that defense, and now they took it over to the attacking side, and they're just doing incredibly well with it. I think they really understand their roles. They understand how their team composition plays together, and it's working out great for them. And remember, this was Delaware's pick. This was Delaware's map to lose, and yeah, you get a double peak, but you're still losing some. But that could be the way to go.
I always like to pick up rounds with opening kills. That's always a catalyst to success for me. Relay, apparently playing close range with the judge, is a catalyst to his own. Still a 2 versus 2, so nobody gaining much real advantageous positioning. Unless you're Washington State, then you have the entirety of A site to yourself. The stars drop, they will drop the smokes as well. Ree is going to plant in the back corner, right next to these boxes. It's planted for long, where his teammate actually starts to make his way on towards site. No, they will both back away towards long. However, Neon still has the overdrive available, and there's a decent bit of utility, actually all the utility, other than the ultimate available for Safety as well. This will be another retake situation, but one that Delaware has to kick off quickly and kick into high gear, that being the name of that quick step on the Neon. Ree swinging through, but Relay has dropped out without any consequence to their life. The gravity well is available should they choose to use it. That's exactly what's going to happen. Ree, however, cannot swing considering the fact that they've been stunned. Demetrius trying to pick up right where their teammate left off, but with the wall dropped and Safety getting aggressive, it's down to a 1 versus 1, but Demetrius threw the fragment before they fell. Martyrdom on this attacking side as you get the Afterlife achievement, and Washington State are on towards map point.
I almost interrupted you earlier. Ree actually saw Relay, and so that allowed them to set up this post plan, Stan. Post plans are the way to go for WSU right now. You know, they set up that post plan for Demetrius to throw, that fragment in there, and it worked out great for them. It basically just forced University of Delaware to try to peek long. Yeah, sure, they get Demetrius, but Demetrius was the bait. Demetrius was one hit, and then boom, out of nowhere, that fragment gets Relay, and then Ree's able to clutch it up, and boom, now they're match point. What are they gonna do? Especially if Relay goes down early.
You do not want to lose this man advantage. Relay, again, is trying to get aggressive in order to gain said man advantage, but doesn't have that trade potential for the squad. And Zohan, you always have to have those trades there, especially when you're a duelist getting aggressive. You basically just lose a body, which is not a position you want to be in, especially when you're down by 3 rounds and facing map point on your own map pick. I cannot continue to stress that enough, considering how impactful it is. And Zohan, Delaware, still with that man advantage. They lose a lot of control as well. The trademark already taken away. That's a lot of information gain gone. What do you do here?
Go back in time and get Relay back. I'm gone. Go somehow, because I mentioned it earlier. I really liked Safety's and Relay's set plan with, you use the flash and you run in and you try to get something. But now you don't have your duelist for site takes. You're suppressed with this null command, and people are just going down. The only kill you get is Demetrius, who can just get rezzed really easily since everyone's there.
This game's over.
If he's going for the knife, this game is over.
He didn't see him! Oh my god, he did see him, but he dies anyway. It's a flawless finish for Washington State. 13-9, the score line at the end of map number 1, looking to push themselves into map number 2, which notably enough is a position they're going to be in an outstanding position for. What was that finish? He was trying the knife, of course the swing was there, but how is he able to whip out the gun and still get the frag? There's no way you should be able to do that.
That was, I'm curious if Safety saw him out of the corner, like literally the very micro edge of the screen. I think he was trying to soft clear the other angle that he should have, he was going outside towards A link and tried to soft clear, and then I think saw and was like, wait, was that someone? And then tried to turn around, but that 3.5 seconds of thinking about maybe there's someone there, I think sadly worked out. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, this was WSU, coming into this, knowing how Haven works, knowing, hey, we're going to use Astra as our controller. And I think, to me, Ree was my MVP of that map, because the Astra pick allowed them so much extra utility that, Delaware just didn't have. And it worked out great for them. And, there are 7th seed and they might be going to the semifinals right now.
I have to contradict you just a little bit, because Iffy was there just to gain a lot of control. While yes, Ree gave you that utility and ability control to be able to retake or just take site itself, Iffy was really there to open up fragging on a consistent basis and was the clutch factor on multiple occasions. It was there and it was consistent. That's what I love to see. But what I also love to see is a map that isn't bind. When we come back, it's Ascent, our second map of the day, and Washington State University's map pick. Keep that in mind, as they're already up 1-0 in terms of the series. We'll see if that continues to 2-0, or if Delaware can bring things back to the even keel, and a third map requisite when we come back. Haven took a total of 22 rounds. Regardless, Washington State come out on top of it. They go up 1-0 on their opponent's map pick, no less. We head ourselves in towards Ascent with the Cougars up, as I said, one map in the best of three. Welcome back, by the way, to the EGFC Power Series 2022. I'm Time to Light. That right there is Zohan. Zohan, how are Washington State's odds heading into their own map pick? Do you feel a little bit worse for Delaware considering that?
Okay, based on Haven,
contemplating life, by the way.
I'm trying to, I'm trying to be I just watched Doctor Strange, so I'm trying to be Doctor Strange, trying to think of the 14 million possibilities of how this map is going to go. I see, honestly, I'm actually starting to favor Washington State in this series. I really liked how they played. I loved the fact that as a team, they played coordinated. They understood, hey, let's rotate if we need to rotate. They went fast. They took sites. Their retakes. Honestly, the worst part about, I think, how they played was the retakes, and still they won about half of them, which you can't. That's not bad. 50% of your map, of your retakes. That's still a couple rounds. And if you win 70% of everything else, you're going to win the game. So I'm curious to see how they select here, because I want to see that double initiator again, excuse me. Not double duelist, please.
I'd be okay with double duelist, honestly, but I like double initiator. I like to see a sentinel and a controller alongside a duelist. That's my usual call. That's exactly what we're going to see on this Delaware side. I'm going to consider Hofster more of a duelist role because we didn't see them play a sentinel role much in the first map, almost at all, considering the amount of lethal utility they get. You have that tour de force. Yes, you have the trademark, but the headhunter much more important in the grand scheme of things, and the rendezvous is there for movement utility. That's one of the few sentinels in the game, if the only one, with movement utility. So keep that in mind. But Delaware bringing that more conventional call. I like Havster playing the chamber. Lelk I like on the Jet for obvious reasons. It's Jet. But Safety, I really want to bring this up because we didn't see that in our first map of play. Killjoy. Killjoy is the best agent to bring on this map. Sova second best with Fade right behind them should you choose to use it properly, but those are the two ones you really want to keep an eye on. That's exactly what we see from Washington State. However, they trade out that chamber for the Reyna. A little bit of a different call, but a respectable one nonetheless.
I guess I'm gonna disagree with you this time about that chamber pick, because I think, here's the thing, Ascent is a smaller map. It's not Haven. You don't have 28 different ways of getting onto a site. You know, you don't have garage, you don't have C long, you don't have B, you don't have sewers, you don't have A long.
That's fair.
You know, Ascent, you have B, you have mid or market, and then you have, you know, arguably you could also say tree onto A, but you know, then you have A main, of course, and wine. And then effectively, but like, you know, with KJ and chamber, this is such a nice defensive sided team. You can trademark on tree, watch A long, TP away, so then you can watch heaven or A, and then boom, you have KJ shutting down Excite completely. So I think, you know, I think we're definitely going to see a bit more of a defensive Hafster. Maybe. I'm not going to say that he's going to be defensive. I'm going to say that I think the utility of Chamber will play a little bit more of a key role in this game than it did on Haven.
That's fair. I was originally questioning why the heck you were disagreeing with me, because I said the chamber was a good pick, but no, now I get it. You were talking about the utility. So regardless, still a good play overall in terms of their agent select on this defensive side. The question now remains, can they get the frags required on the attack to relegate what is there on the defense? The answer thus far, not just yet. They're walking straight into the Killjoy utility as well. There's the alarm bot down. That makes you vulnerable and makes you take double the damage, especially as you run in towards that nanoswarm, and can take peppering damage from that bot in the back line. Hafster retaking in through market has been seen. Ree could catch a timing with this swing through. Dinsky tries to find the kill, but Ree dies on that backline, somehow falls, but Hafster dies immediately after. Safety playing this close corner has to be cleared out, and the timing just not going his way. He's been jabaited, and Demetrius is onto a 4K, will not get the ace, but a good shrouded step. Never mind, it's just Iffy popping out of nowhere. I thought it was an Omen just shrouded stepping into the close corner. Iffy apparently popped out of nowhere, and I have x-ray vision. There's Zohan.
That you do. That was interesting, to say the least. I definitely...
I was like, what?
I kind of maybe wanted Safety to play a bit differently. Maybe have someone play with them on B. I think in Pistron specifically, that boathouse, you have two in boathouse with the shorties works insanely well. And then if you have just a couple people at least to force them off A, then boom, they go B, and then they try to clear boathouse, and then they all die. Now you can't use that. You know, you have armor, you have specters where you just move shot. And I mean, that shows here. I mean, look, they're going to get picks. And once Reyna gets a pick, I get a bit more worried, especially since relay on this Omen is going to be interesting.
Delaware, an early man disadvantage is not a good omen for them just yet, even though they have the Omen available. Dinsky's dead. It's still a decent spot for Delaware to be in overall, but they're just looking to do economic damage here. This is not a round they expect to win, as we saw Washington State do it in the previous map. Safety trying to peek around, catches a timing, Iffy pushing through, gets dinked, is still alive somehow, and the timing as Safety tries to reload will still get the kill, but nothing more than that. Washington State keeping 3 players alive in their conversion round puts them in a decent position for the bonus as well. They win this, then they're in an outstanding position.
Yeah, I would definitely not buy as Dinsky right now because, you know, this is not Haven. This is definitely a little more defensive favorite of a map. So if they, yeah, no, if 100%, if they don't win this, they're not going to be able to full buy next round. So I would want to see maybe a Sheriff instead. I would want to see maybe a Spectre. I mean, I think you could afford a Spectre actually. This just really worries me if they lose this this round. But a nice that was a nice setup. Now it forces Halfster to go away, gives them a bit of market control, but it also forces the sightlines of Delaware to look elsewhere. And now they're going to have to be a bit worried. Where are they going to go? What are they going to be doing? And it's going to be A.
A is an understandable call, but they're walking straight into the meat grinder of 3 different players. Halfster most notably just waiting in tree for this push to come through. Relay breaks that wall manually, and Shrouded steps away. Halfster is yet to find the kill though, as Relay in towards the back of this generator doesn't even find a kill. Reed doubles up as they take out their doppelganger, but a good frag back means it's a 4 versus 3. Reed getting this smoke down is a good spot for this team to be in, as Delaware have to retake. And if they don't, it's going to be a massive disadvantage for them.
100%. And honestly, if they checked, you know, that kind of window market area, 100%, I think Delaware is just out of this round, and they clear it 100%. Halfster being alive is crucial here to them winning. But now there's a lot of setup to force Debands. But if Debands gets this, maybe, but no, they're going to be able to clear it, and that has to be because Halfster stayed alive. Because look at how well Halfster did this round. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you lose your bonus, but you take out 3. It's kind of the best scenario for WSU.
Economic damage plus a spike plant means a lot of credits and not many on the defensive side. Now for Washington State, they're looking to reinitiate, and quickly so. It'll be a full gun round minus, I see, an Ares, which is kind of a gun, I suppose. Yeah, it's a gun just straight up, but it's not a rifle. That's the most notable part about it. I still think Delaware in a decent position, though. They win this, then they are really in a good one.
100%. And I'm, you know, I really wish Washington maybe just cleared a bit more. I feel like they were really focused on taking site, and it worked out for them. But you know, they lost someone because of it. If they were able to get if they were able to trade that, that's them. That's the round instantly. And I like how they're kind of changing up where their smoke goes. They change up. Hey, this is going to be, you know, we're gonna push market. We're gonna push B. Actually, excuse me, that was relay smokes, but they still, you know, I like how the Omens are playing different smokes. They're doing something a little different. And, you know, it kind of forces them to think, where are we going to be pushing? What are they going to be doing? And so it kind of makes them move. And that this allows WSU to get more and more space.
Real estate's always something you would like to work with on this attacking side. It's been given over towards Washington State, but not for free. A good trade there by Relay means it's back to the 4 versus 4. They'll take out the wall as it drops down, and the lockdown's going to be committed. They will not have this Sova Hunter's Fury available on the attacking side, so the lockdown should go through for free. However, as you mentioned, that flank is there. Iffy from behind is in a good position to push this through, as D-Bands is pushing just the same, but the Nano Swarm from behind could cost them the round. The push straight through the smoke is caught with good timing, but Reed dies immediately. Iffy, the last one alive, pushing through this short position, finds the first, not even gonna find the second, and the spike was diffused regardless. Delaware, a good second round win, and a strong retake using that lockdown, understanding they had the ultimate advantage and capitalizing off of it.
I'm really confused why if he walked all the way through market to try to go through tree. Debands was already there, like they were ready, you know, to check that way. And, you know, if he wasn't there in time to even just trade it out, if he just had a free pick because they were looking at main. If they came from heaven, Honestly, I think that was WSU's run. I think that was just maybe a slight mistake of where they were going, but the Odin is what I'm excited for.
After finding that opener, does not rendezvous away. They're still locking down this close angle, and that Lear's been taken away. He immediately gets away as soon as he realizes he's susceptible to a peek, especially from behind, with a normally long-range weapon to use. Now, the trademark's been destroyed in towards Pizza, so Demetrius can push for free, at least for the time being. Notably, that Tour de Force is still available, but it's been avoided as Demetrius jumps up and over it. And Hofster has to avoid that Lear. B-site control trying to be taken here from Washington State, but it's being denied as they push through. Good control in towards the backside, along with pizza control by Hofster, means they cannot get past this line of defense on the Delaware side. Dinsky try to hit their shots. Somehow they're both alive and on very little HP, almost identical HP at that. However, as I say that, it's immediately turned back. Washington State are not out of this round at all, at least not just yet. It's 6 HP versus 5 HP, as I was talking about it being almost identical. With Iffy being low as well, though, does not leave the Cougars in a good position.
Definitely doesn't leave them up, but you know, still a chance if you get the headshots off. If you get a bit lucky, then you can do post plants. But 24 seconds left, and actually, oh no, that's the perfect play of what they needed. But yeah, with Thanksgiving going down, or actually,
he doesn't have time.
He does
not have time. He only has 6 seconds to get onto the site, and I think he knows it at about this point. He'll realize 2-1 round over. Time on the clock is the reason you lose that one. In all fairness, they'll still get the spike plant, just I think later on. That's an extra few credits, if I recall correctly, considering you get credits after the round ends. But Washington State losing a round off of time is not a position you want to be in. It was a valiant effort by Iffy, playing the Killjoy no less, still playing that fragging role, just not finding the kills required.
Yeah, I mean, you still get 300 extra credits, allows you to full buy, and actually affords Demetrius the op. So with heavy shield, so that works out well for them. Obviously, you know, you still don't want Delaware to keep winning rounds, and this could still be a win for them and forces out their economy. And they missed that first op shot, revealing the operator and forcing the dash away.
Lockdown now being prepped here on the attacking side, but again, you're not seeing that Hunter's Fury available on the opposing side. Last time it was Washington State with the lack thereof. This time it's Delaware with the lack thereof. Dinsky trying to pop it and pops Lelk, finds the final frag required across. The lockdown, however, does detain Relay, who cannot shrouded step away. Tried, however, failed in that same right. It's a full 5 versus 3. It'll be a full retake as well. But with time off the clock, they cannot afford to wait. The spray through from hell up through that heaven floor will cost them a little bit of HP. They'll try whatever they can, but I don't even know if trying this is worth it for the defensive side. That sonar finds a little bit of information. Actually, will go in towards hell. That's a creative lineup, to say the very least. However, it does not find enough, and in tandem, the Blue Hens back away. It's Washington State tying us right back up. Both teams reaching 3-3 in both games.
And Delaware with the smart play here. I think a lot of teams would try to go for this. They'd be like, oh, we can try to go for the retake. But this allows them to save their guns. It saves their armor, especially in Hofster. And now, now you can have a better chance with effectively a half buy. The Odin is still in play for B shutdowns. And that's exactly what they need as they try to peek after round. And if he still gets that headshot off, which, yeah, that's definitely a bit more rough. I think if you have 2 guns in the Odin, I'm a little more favoring what you have. And with that gone, now it's just 2 guns. I'm a bit worried.
Weapons are always something you have to be wary of on either side. Keep a track on your opponent's economy. That was a full gun round on both sides. Now, you were talking about taking weapons away. I want to highlight how Washington State have kept theirs when winning rounds. That's been consistent through here and on Haven as well. If they continue to keep economies safe on their own sides, they're going to be in a good position overall. Hofster tries to remove the sonar and is unsuccessful in doing so. Regardless, they'll rendezvous away and get the heck out of Dodge, at least for the time being.
Yeah, slow around for WSU this time. I like where they're going, though. I think they've kind of figured out where the Killjoy utility is. And now they're rotating towards A, where there's no I don't think, yeah, there's not a single piece of utility there. So if they're able to get those early pickoffs, A is effectively cleared. There's no lockdown unless you get a pick. There is from the shadows, which maybe, I mean, maybe they do the fun TP to wine and go for the flank, but it's kind of a lot harder in team when it's at this level and it's team coordinated. But 45 seconds left. WSU's playing this well, and honestly, I think this might be their site.
Relay from this close angle sprays through and dies. Good paranoia means he can't see a dang thing. Safety dies and drops a K in chat. Understandably so, not really happy how they fell in this round. But Washington State still taking quick control, working with the real estate they gained early to allow them to push later on. And John has to back away. The sonar will not see them, but I don't think it's really going to matter. With 19 HP and just an Odin in hand, no sonar or just a single shock dart, this round was over regardless. If he catches a timing, still gets the kill, almost gets caught with a timing back the other way, but a flawless fourth round win there for Washington State means they have a massive economic advantage heading into now round number 8.
No, indeed, and honestly, we thought Haven was going to go the distance. I think this might go the distance. I mean, 6-6 at the half is still pretty equal, even, regardless of how it goes. Obviously, maybe, I think I would favor Delaware with the defense right now, and the fact that this is still WSU favored, at least in the current score. This could go anyone's game. This is still a very close game, and it could go overtime, or it could, for all we know, it could just be a 13-4 stop right now.
I think 13-4 is not the call, unfortunately. Maybe 13-4 for Washington State, but the Shrouded Step being unsuccessful means it's down to Havster in a 1v5. Still has 6 Headhunter bullets, so they only need a 66% shot land percentage. All of them, however, had to be headshots. That one didn't even land at all. Washington State now up to 5. Continuing with their momentum. Their attacking side looking relatively decent. Again, 6-6 or 7-5 on either side is about what we expect, especially on Ascent, especially considering it's Washington State's map pick. But as Washington State head onto the defensive side, that's where we expect them to pop off. And if Delaware don't meet this right now, it's not going to be a good spot for them to do.
Yeah, I did say 13-5 to be ambiguous, because, 13-4 was still possible from either side, just so everyone's clear. Wasn't trying to favor Delaware here at all. And yeah, I mean, oh, that was a nice takeoff of that swarm grenade.
Oh, no!
Was that a move? I think that might have been a moving shot, so that's why it missed. But yeah, regardless of how it goes, look at this. They're taking everyone out of mid, but Lelk already waiting for it, but used that dash so couldn't get away. But Ree wasn't able to peek in time.
I'm a little surprised Lelk made it out alive there. Havster's waiting here towards the courtyard corner, waiting for a push through. Rhea has caught a timing with their own dark cover being committed. They're trying to peek around. Lelk maybe caught off here, but from the corner, they clear this close corner around towards the door. The answer, not at all. It doesn't matter. The relay runs out of ammo or just misses an entire mag and does not think they missed it. Regardless, it's still a 3 versus 3. Washington State bring it back from what seemed like absolutely nothing. In goes a Hunter's Fury. It will find Ree, who is already low HP. It finds absolutely nothing past that. That's the issue you now run into. A little bit of a visual bug there, by the way. That one was not what we thought it was. Dinsky, however, left alone in a 1 versus 3, has to find an opener and a follow-up. It's not going to happen. Just 1 kill found. 3 were required, and because of it, Delaware bring it back. 1 round now, just to tie things up.
I mean, but still, if WSU gets 1 more, what could be a 6-6 and what could be even more than that is still incredible for an attacking side on Ascent. Obviously, Ascent definitely a little more defensive favored, only just due to the fact that there's less places for the attacking side to go through. And so now I'm like a WSU spot. They have a couple of ultimates to use. They have, the Hunter's Fury to shut down the lockdown. And yeah, no, this is looking great for them. Oh wait, no.
No way. Okay. No,
Oh,
I thought
wait.
it was.
I thought it was the other way
I was
around.
thinking the exact same thing you were thinking. It's okay. We both thought the exact same thing. For all of you who did not catch that one, we thought it was the From the Shadows popped on the attacking side in towards the back of site. That was not the case. It was a retake from the Shadows, utilized properly. However, Ree has been caught with a timing, and Demetrius dies, no, not detained, but dies regardless. Ree has to find this kill, and Hafster's trying to get aggressive. Timing gets the better of Ree, and has been catching the better of Washington State throughout this entire map. Dinsky, looking to peek around though, is faking out this entire B side, but incorrectly so. It's Iffy looking to peek around alone. They have to get the spike plant or opening kills, and I mean kills plural. They'll close the door, put down the alarm bot, and try and gain control. The Shrouded Step on top of that garage, on top of the generator, sorry, is successful. It's now Dinsky, still left alone, still in a decent position, has utility to work with, but it's a 1 versus 2. Doesn't even find the first. A good peek from Hafster gives them the round and gives Delaware a tied up scoreline.
Yeah, and I mean, we enter our penultimate half still at 5-5. What could go either way? I mean, there's still, the economy of Delaware is looking a bit iffy. If they lose this next round, their economy is actually going to be this round. Their economy is going to be gone as we enter our last half, which could cause a WSU 7-5. So it's going to be vital for Delaware to win this if they want a chance to have an advantage going into their attacking side. And they still have a chance. I mean, that a nice Odin spray, but they're gonna miss all of the shots except for a couple body shots. And as they enter in, can they do anything with it? The lockdown was destroyed, so a nice play there. And now no utility, but a couple utilities still for WSU.
I was thinking that lockdown was immediately destroyed. I think the shock dart was going in as the lockdown was being placed down. Strong timing for the defensive side on that one that time around. And Sean catches Ree through the wall, no less. Cardboard walls are a scent. Just keep that in mind for when you play your ranked games. It'll almost certainly cost you your life. D-Bands, however, is left alone with Iffy. With a combined maybe 110 HP between them, not a position they want to be in. Washington State had a massive advantage. It was 5-2 at one point. However, Delaware have brought it back. That sonar should find out both of them. It will indeed. There's the information you have to work with, and John finds yet another wallbang frag, looking for the final required. Why not? Flick straight to them, straight through the wall. A flawless 6th round from the University of Delaware, at least guaranteeing themselves a tied up half, looking to now take the advantage with 4 in a row here on the defensive side to close out the first half.
Yeah, and a pause coming in for WSU, which, I mean, you can still full buy completely. I mean, you can almost buy, I mean, actually, you could buy whatever you want. You could all go operators, which please do so. 5 operators, WSU attack last round. Please do it. I would do a lot for that. That would be hilarious, especially if you clutch it out. That would be amazing. That's not going to happen, but they can still full buy. They can still have complete utility. They can still have all of their guns. I think we had the Hunter's Fury left from their ultimates. I don't know. I know that they used at least 2 in that last round, so maybe, or 1 or 2 in the past couple rounds. So, there's going to be a couple where that's not going to be a factor. 1 or 2 still could happen. If you get a couple picks, if you get that orb. It's really going to depend on how WSU want to engage in this. They've been pushing on to be into that Odin, and that Odin is actually starting to really come into clutch. I mean, we mentioned it earlier in the game. Kind of wasn't doing that much. But now that they're going, oh, we don't need to worry about the Odin. What's that going to do to us? And then it gets a 3K to bring Delaware back into this game. So I'm a bit... I think that there's still a great chance for WSU. But it's looking great for Delaware.
Sometimes that can change back almost immediately, though. Washington State, a good round win here, especially with the only ultimate on the board, could be a propellant into their defensive success. However, they have to find opening kills, and they don't. So, never mind. It completely erased my entire point. I didn't want to see them find an opening kill anyway. Still a little hurtful that they didn't like my point. But a good opener from Delaware. Zohan, I think they're still looking good on this Washington State side, just not as good as they may have been if they got the opener.
I mean, I think the key thing is I think Lelk really starting to do well with that operator. Demetrius getting an early pickoff, actually, that's kind of vital because that was your smokes. Your smokes are gone now for the side of Delaware. And so now you also lose a flash. I think you lose all of your flashes. Excuse me, Paranoia was your only flash on this game. And, you know, now they have to do a retake. So this is going to, I think this has to favor WC. They're not checking it. They soft clear. Oh no.
Demetrius actually gets out as well. D-Bands takes out John up above. Demetrius finally falls, but got one more kill than they should have and takes a massive amount of time off the clock. Safety apparently does not care though. Takes away the sonar dart as well. Into the 1 versus 2. 70 HP, the only 70 that were required. D-Bands is going to take them away, and Washington State to close out this first half, tie us right back up. It's now down to a best of 12. It was a best of 24. It's like nothing happened.
Thank you for doing the math for me there.
Got you.
That was, if you're watching this, make sure if you are going to clear a corner, clear that corner. You know, they were going into this going, you know, Lelks was like, oh, there's no one gonna be tree, and then there was someone tree and they died. And then based also on that, Demetrius was able to get away, and that was crucial for them. That I can't understate how much I think that retake could have happened, especially with how insane Safety was playing. And now it could have lost them the game here.
Nice sonar over top. It's immediately taken out. Those have to have a little bit of speed on them. It's good to gain the information that somebody was there in order for them to take it away, but you'd like to gain a little bit of info in terms of just raw sonar dart arrow. Usually doesn't happen considering the wherewithal of a lot of these attacking squads. When a sonar is thrown through, you're aware of it. But Delaware still have to find ground. Yes, they have the entirety of A main to themselves, congratulations, but you have to start taking the site, especially with only one person on the site proper. Demetrius is going to find information as to the fact that nobody is on this B side, other than apparently Safety, who should fall in this engagement, but doesn't. Demetrius misses the shot with a frenzy. 6 shots gone. So is that ability to find an opening kill, and they just now look to send themselves on towards A. An opposing dart cover thrown through, a good sonar as well, but a shock dart to neglect it. Lelk just turning that one back though. Not enough kills in this defensive side. But as I say that, wait a second, no, I lied. I was about to hype it up.
No, wait. Oh, okay. I love that. That was fun. I do it all the time. Don't worry. Yeah, that was a bit rough. And I mean, this should be the.
Oh no, not again.
Should be the clear. Okay, This should be the clear. No, Demetrius, you have 13 bullets left.
Oh, he switches out to a ghost as he's walking to a smoke. I don't know if this memo was given over to him, but when you push through the dark cover, it only has external cover, not internal nearsightedness. Unlike the sky smokes or even the gravity wells, not the gravity wells, the smokes from Astra. If you push into it, you can see through into the other side of the smoke. I don't think you realize that as you push through.
I was waiting for the come around, and then Lelk just kills everyone. It's fine. What just happened? This is interesting. Oh, I love this lineup. This is a very fun lineup. And actually it works well for them because A is effectively empty, so that's going to confirm the site take. Maybe WSU actually kind of might be able to rotate in time for the flank, especially Owen could get past that. Could get past it. Oh no, the trademark's going to be revealing to them, but they're pushing so slow.
Control, however, being taken. Oh no. It's again Washington State. Even though they have a lot of map control to work with, and they have not a man advantage on the site, it's still a decent position for their people. They don't find the frags required. Good nanostorm thrown into the back corner forces him out, and actually he gets the kill because of it. Ree dies off of good utility usage by this defensive, now well, attacking turn defensive side, considering the post plant. And that leaves Dinsky left alone. What do you do here if you're Dinsky? If a classic, best case scenario, you do some economic damage. That actually does take away one of those specters. I don't think you're going to find anything past that. No, you don't. Now Delaware have an outstanding position. They should put themselves into the bonus round with 4 SMGs and maybe a reinvested pistol. But overall, I have to favor them.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is... Safety should definitely buy the Spectre, though, because... Please buy the Spectre. Please, please. Okay, thank goodness. They at least just pick up the Ghost. I'm a bit perplexed by how WSU held there. I think they could have actually maybe done a little more damage. I was a bit surprised that they full stacked B and then ran to try to flank. I think the split pushing from so many different angles kind of screwed them over here. A nice bit of a one-way, and Debans just gets the early pick off.
Oh, and another for Dinsky as well. It is brought back. That's best case scenario, but trades are still favoring this Washington State side. Any trades, as long as they're not disadvantageous trades, will favor the Cougars until the end of the round. If he, however, has been caught out, there's a ping towards them and full mid control has been taken over. What's the call here for the attacking side? Are they going to take a 1v1 in towards B and then try and catch out the flank, or will they go A? I think B is the call, and understandably so, but they have to find the early pick onto the Killjoy, or else that utility is going to play a massive part. As long as timing does not catch out Safety, they're in a good position. Sonar in towards the back. A site should detect Iffy. It does indeed. That's the information they have to work off of, but they'll push straight in towards that alarm bot. Safety, do they get cleared in towards this close corner? No. Peeking around, though, has caught the timing. Safety should fall here. That may just be the round. It should be indeed. John is left alone. The 1 versus 3. It's a 1v1 on the site, but he's peeking with a Spectre into a Phantom from medium to long range. If he wins out the duel, just barely at that, and drops Yoru questioning life decisions, and understandably so, as Washington deny the bonus round win.
Yeah, no, great win for them. I was definitely a bit worried about B because it kind of played very well into the hands of Iffy. That utility just shut down a site. I would have maybe preferred the turret to be a bit more overlooking B as well, because it, kind of forces them to look up, and then they walk into the alarm bot. You pop the grenades, you get a kill. I think that turret kind of allowed the team to kind of separate, or at least allowed Dinsky to walk in and get past that. It worked out great for WSU. One more round, they could tie it up. Delaware's economy would just be squashed after this. So it's going to be incredibly important for WSU to win this. And then it's so close, Stan. I mean, we might be going to game 3. There's a huge chance we are.
It's narrow positioning for both squads. I don't know who to favor in these engagements, but Washington State on the defensive side, again, if they find opening picks, they're in a good spot. If he finds opening damage, just not the kill across. Lelk, trying to get in towards the back of this bench position, dies and doesn't do much damage to negate their death. Hafster should be cleared in this close corner. We've seen this position played before, actually by this Delaware side, so Washington State should be the team to clear it. The question now remains, does that actually happen? It'll be a 5 versus 4 retake, and ground needs to be gained quickly. Demetrius clears his far side. Do they clear the close corner? Yes, they do. A double for Demetrius, finding both players far side, and now popping the Bladestorm, trying to get really aggressive. The dark cover thrown through shouldn't do all that much, and Relay is taken out as the timing just does not go their way. Demetrius even finds their 3rd on the round as Washington State will tie us up off the back of quick clearances, and Delaware just not winning gunfights. The Cougars bringing us back to dead even in a flawless fashion.
Yeah, no, that's insane. That was an incredible run for them, and that's exactly what they needed. They didn't lose anyone. The economy is going to be gone from the side of Delaware, and they're like still forcing here. I don't want this. I don't want light shields. I want them to try to do something. Lelk, use that for just use this round to make sure that everyone can get heavy shields, because these spray battles have been going in the favor of WSU, and when you have light shields, that's going to favor the people with heavy shields still. So it's a bit worrying. They're gonna have to rotate now. People can get ready, and it just it's a bit brutal for them.
Lockdown popped on the attacker's side is a good position for them to be in. D-Bands is finding a flank in through tiles, but do they find the kills? That's the real question. Relay in towards mid should hear the sound cue. Ree doesn't see the smoke go out in front of him and gets paranoid because of it. The near sight is perfect, and the swing from behind is as well. John popping the shock dart in order to give themselves positioning, but they're flanking in through mid towards this A side. Iffy from behind dies immediately. Yes, the B site is down for the attacking side, but the A site is completely empty, and we'll see yet another post plant in this series.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be another post plant. And WSU, Timing just
Oh, no.
doing. Oh, they walked in relay. No.
Timing just not going his way, and both players on the Delaware side are low. Dinsky, the sonar through, that's detected, but it's also destroyed. Demetrius has to find this frag, and does, but it's down to Lelk up against their doppelganger Demetrius. Both of them low HP. Demetrius finds the frag, and the 4K. It's 7 kills through 2 rounds of play for the Jet on the Washington State side, as they now take the lead on their own map pick, and on the defensive side, no less, have a massive economic advantage, putting Delaware massively on the back foot.
Yeah, and remember, Demetrius wasn't playing Duelist on Haven. Like they are popping off right now, and this is them on Duelist. I'm starting to get a bit scared for whoever has to try to duel Demetrius later in these rounds. And look, no, Delaware's forcing still. They're like, oh, Relay can full buy, so we're gonna full buy. Oh no. This is crucial, but they get that early pickoff, but a nice trade by Ree. That is a critical trade for them.
Trades are always something that have been pivotal for the Delaware side. I still think Washington State have the advantage, considering their overall weapon advantage, and especially considering the fact that Washington State are going to walk straight through a meat grinder. That meat grinder looking to be a main, if they continue to push it. I don't know what the call is here for them, and it's an awkward position for me to be in, considering the fact that I have X-ray vision and don't know what the heck they're doing. Now I think I do, as they start to initiate in towards A. But Dinsky in the back corner of heaven, just playing behind this box, has yet to be scanned out. Good paranoia means Ree can't see or hear a dang thing, but they have yet to clear this back corner. If Dinsky catches a timing, they may be able to find multiple frags, but they have to do so quickly. The swing through, the shrouded step in towards hell, it's faked, but Dinsky finds a double regardless. Havster only finds one, leaving Safety in a 1v3. Not gonna happen. Washington State find yet another round. Demetrius finds yet another kill. And the Cougars, on to 10 rounds, are looking extremely strong.
Yeah, this is why I did not want Delaware to just force there. Because look at their economy now. Yeah, sure. You can have Halfster buy. You could. Oh no, Safety, don't do it, please. Safety, please don't do it. You know, Safety can buy light shields in a gun, but like, look at how weird their buys are. Dinsky not even buying right now, but they could still buy very easily. Dinsky didn't buy. Did they? I'm very confused at the moment. Was that a misclick? Oh no, they did buy. Oh, but perfect timing by Demetrius. And this is already looking like 11 for WSU.
Here.
In this situation, if you are on the Washington State side, you do not want to be giving over frags, and they just are not. That's a position they are in, and continuing to pivot off of. Demetrius, if I had $1 for every time Demetrius found a kill in Valorant, I'd probably be able to retire by the end of next week. If I was able to find $1 every time he found a kill in this series, it would be the end of next month. He's looking to continue to get kills for the squad and openings at that. The duelist role really being embraced by Demetrius. Pops the dash just to get the heck out of dodge and back away. Dinsky should find information here. Do they clear the full close corner? No, they don't find any info with that owl drone, and the lack of info is info of itself, but it's incorrect information to work off of. They seem to be relatively aware of this close position, but the timing found as Dinsky will fall. Demetrius looking to find a frag will be unsuccessful in doing so, as Relay finds a double. Looking to find more though, as Halfster is trying to find this frag.
Left.
From the shadows, popped and dropped as if he is aware of it. The lockdown in the back corner of sight will relegate 12 seconds of time with no ultimate to counter it. They have to find this frag. They have to find the lockdown, and that just does not seem like something that's going to happen. Iffy looking to swing through, finding a kill, not finding the frag they need to, and the lockdown's destroyed before it does indeed go up. Washington State has to play retake, and now the lockdown popped on the attacking side. Post-plant scenario with that spike now going down, but it will not reach as far as you would think, with Ree having to be forced out of this position. Dark cover popped in towards the backside, but Relay faking the fact that they shrouded stepped behind, and that will catch Ree off guard. The reload comes through. 1 versus 2 still, as they have to find a frag. peeking around, needs to find Safety first and then clear below them. The information's gained, the swing through. Is it found? No! Relay dies in the dark cover, allowing them to push through. The fake shrouded step across could catch Safety off guard, and it looks like it has. Ree looking to swing through and has maybe caught him off guard. He has to find the frag though, and as he swings, he looks like he won't, but he does anyway! Does he have the time though? I don't know if he does. It's going to continue to tick away, and I think it continues to tick away. He wins the round regardless. 1.5 seconds. Ree wins one of the most unlikely clutches possible, has a disadvantage on both duels he takes in the 1v2, and Washington State extend their lead.
You know, I obviously that they just outfragged there. I don't think I need to really talk about that. But I just want to talk about the one thing I want to mention is DeBans. They just tried to push so early, and it forced them to do this incredible clutch. They used that lockdown before the plant went down. Like just a reminder, like they could have if they had that lockdown, that forces Ree to like back up more, try to play differently. Instead, you know how that chain of events wouldn't happen. Ree just fragged out and got two in an incredible way and is pushing WSU more and more towards series point. And I mean, one more away and they're going to be match and series point. And if they have two more of those and boom, this game's over. Yeah. Jeez.
Wow.
Dan, and look at their alts. This is just, the lockdown's gone, so they can just use Hunter's Fury whenever they want. They have From the Shadows for some cheeky plays if they want. Oh, this is looking very nice for them. Actually, especially this. If Delaware loses, their economy's gone. By the way, it's gone.
And they're down by 4 rounds facing match point.
Exactly, yeah.
Not a position the Blue Hens want to be in. If I tell my mom about this scoreline later, she's not going to be too happy. She went to Delaware, and the last time Delaware played and I casted them, they won, and she was relatively happy, as much as a parent of somebody who doesn't go to a school would be happy about a Valorant team winning. I don't know how much context I have to give, but you get the general idea.
I understand, yes. Oh, they're playing so slow because they know they can't lose this. But they're walking into the utilities, and Iffy does so well and gets away from Tree, which saves Ree.
He actually takes down the door as he closes it, relegating the fact that the door could exist later. Iffy, however, needs to find a frag back the other way, and Dinsky's the one to pick up that torch, getting a frag and backing away. It will be a retake scenario. Safety's low on the far side. Do they clear the close corner? That's the real question. Iffy actually almost died to his teammate's Hunter's Fury, but Safety finds the kill. Even though they're on one singular point of HP, they still find the opener through. Halfster is low. It's 2 players, low HP, while both players are high on this defensive side, trying to retake, and Dinsky, even though they had that full HP, so did Relay. Demetrius with a first, needs to find a second, does just that. Safety's on low HP, and gets headshot regardless. It's all 3 frags, all 3 headshots. The Blade Storm is a storm and a force to be reckoned with, as it's a clutch for Demetrius,
You guys suck.
and match and series point for the Cougars.
I wish people could have seen our expressions, or at least my expression right there. My hair's messed up, I think, right now from that. That was insane. I don't even have words. There's nothing that needs to be said. Demetrius, just take a bow. Absolutely dominating this. Wants to take WSU to the semifinals. I'm not going to cast or curse it. I'm not going to say what's going to be happening, but look how rough this buy is for Delaware. They have to do incredible work. That's a way to start. No.
What? No way! You casters cursed it. I'm sorry. Saying the fact that you weren't going to casters curse it means you casters cursed it. Washington State, when you're watching this VOD back, it is Zohan's fault. You guys lost 14-12 in OT. That's his bad, not mine. I'm going to try and reverse the caster's curse and just make things dead even again.
And then make it re-caster curse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that one works. Lelk just pops their Blade Storm and right-clicks it away, even after finding the frag. I don't think they really care, though. It's a 4K now for the Jet, looking to make it an ace as they push through. Why not? Ace for Lelk, as Delaware find their 9th. you were talking about it. You caster cursed it. It's your fault. Blame him.
I mean, they could still buy. I'm not too worried. Like, if WCU's economy was a bit like iffy because of that round loss, yeah, I'd be a bit concerned. But honestly, they can still buy well. I'm a bit okay, maybe a bit of a miss buy there because Debands has to go to the judge. But you know, honestly, Arena with the judge, especially if you're holding a kind of a weird off angle, that can do incredible work. Their lineups is towards A again though, so if they're able to play it well, this could still go well for WSU.
Expert opinion. If they can find kills, they win round easy. That's my
Clutch commentary. Clutch commentary right there.
That's how you win rounds, Forehead. That's all I have to say.
Okay, well, you stop calling me Forehead.
No. You have a 5 head? Okay, I'll call you 5 head for the remainder of the broadcast.
Thank you.
Probable 1 round.
I have something in my Twitter where I talk about being a 5 head. That's why I'm laughing at this.
Demetrius finds a kill and apparently didn't know they were going to find the kill. Interesting position for them to be in. Dinsky actually shouldn't be peeking here. If they're going to play the long angle, you have to either have to find 3 kills or find all of them. It's a double form, considering the judge from the long range peppered them up. And D-Bands on their own flank finds a frag. Ree, using from the shadows into the back corner of the site, finds the frag as well. 2 versus 1. Hapster needs to find the opener, will not do so. Again, 13-9. Washington State mirror the way they won on map number 1, this time with the 13th one on the defensive side. Ascent goes their way, as does Haven. They move on to the semifinals to take on Butler University, who, by the way, beat Marist College 2-0.
All right, just so everyone sees. See, I have a 5 head. That is, in fact, all of my fingers on my forehead. I have a 5 head, so hey, I have those clutch commentary plays and casts. I knew WSU was going to take this. I called Haven, I called Ascent, and they have proven me right. I did not caster curse this. Dan tried to reverse caster curse me, and it didn't work. I took that way too seriously. I don't know why I just did that, but no, wow. I mean, that first game was really just WSU showing how that they knew how to play as a team. They knew how to use utility. And then the second game was clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch. I mean, I think that was 5 clutches? Like, legitimately?
Lots.
Like, I mean, truly, I mean, 5 1v2s, 5 1v3s. I mean, not 10 overall, but, you know, how those rounds worked out. Oh boy, and now WSU advances to the semifinals. They could take this overall.
Butler, the 3 seed, now have to play up against the 7 seed that is thus far dropped to the 2 seed. That in order is Butler, Washington, and the University of Delaware in respective order. But Washington State will move on, and actually, we're going to follow them. Now, if you want to watch Marquette and DePaul, I was talking about being on this stream earlier. That's not the case. Get Wrecked plus L plus ratio. They're on the B stream, considering timing twitch.tv/official EGF2 for Marquette versus DePaul. But if you want to watch this one and watch Washington State move on, stay here. They play Butler after the break. It's semifinals when we come back.